Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me dio dos luces.
It's a place where life is lived in the front yard and on the streets. It's a place where people still talk to one another. I mean, I love it still that you'll see chickens in the street, you know, and there'll be cornfields in people's front yards, in their backyards, in their community gardens. If you go to the neighborhood, you can't help but feel the culture of the place that our families come from, alive and well here in Mayfair.
Mis sueños, pues cuando venimos para acá, mi esposo y yo, era para trabajar, para que él trabajara y podamos juntar un poco de dinero y volver a México.
Immigrants come to this country with intention, to work, to forge a new future for themselves and for their family and for their children.
Pues ahora ha cambiado un poco porque mi deseo ahora es que mis hijas tengan un estudio mejor aquí.
Here at Somos we do work intentional to preserve culture, because being in this country, you begin to lose your connection to traditions.
Más segura en esta comunidad de sentirme orgullosa de mis raíces y sacarlas y decirles a mis hijos, yo era esto, yo quiero que se sientan orgullosos de.
To live with the kind of poverty that people experience here in Mayfair, in a place as expensive as Silicon Valley, to live in the face of the kind of discrimination that people face, to live where opportunity isn't given to, you have to make it. And in spite of news headlines or attitudes that people may have about the barrio, the truth is, most of the people live healthy lives. The families in Mayfair are some of the most resilient people in the world.
We give them that hope that they can do this on their own, and once you actually help a family believe that they can do it on their own, oh my gosh, it's just so powerful.
We may be beginning to work with just the mother in a family, but the idea is that then how does that, once the power in that person has been surfaced, how do then we help that person to take it back to the family?
My son. Before I met Somos Mayfair, I used to treat my son really bad because I couldn't understand him. I always said he was different from all the other children. They actually took me to where my son was diagnosed with ADHD last year. They connected me to the services that he needed, you know, for therapy. And they also got me the help I needed to understand my son. Thanks to the theater group that I'm in, I'm kind of more out there.
We used drama therapy and expressive arts. We engaged the women around their stories. It was a very small piece that reflected what they had learned in the support group. And so the line that she had was, son, I accept you as you are, and I want you to be proud of yourself. She would practice those lines and practice that over and over and over again. And when she did it, she looked directly at her son, and when she came off the stage, she just burst into tears, and she was so proud of herself. It was beautiful to see her.
They started showing me how nice it was to have a family.
We have to find some deeper place where we can build trust with people.
Sentía un poco de vergüenza de cómo había sido mi niñez.
Her dad used to drink a lot, and he had a lot of violence with their children, and my mom still remembers all that.
No quiero seguir el mismo patrón. Quiero cortarlo ya, quiero cortar la violencia. Ahora yo inculco a mis hijos que todo se puede arreglar hablando calmadamente. Mi esposo me entiende más y pues estoy muy orgullosa de eso, de que todo lo que he aprendido.
My family became better after my mom going to Somos Mayfair. She wants to become a better person for herself and trying for us to see what she does, so one day we could be like her. And I admire that from her.
Me too.
It's not really about us. It's more about, okay, how do we make this community believe in what they have, and how do we help this community fight for what they believe and get what they need?
Underlying how we do our work is that we'll lend a hand to somebody right now, but in turn, somewhere down the line, build the expectation within themselves that at some point they should lend a hand to somebody else as well. They in fact have gifts and power that can be of service to other people. And one of the ways that we do that is by using cultural arts and creative process.
Me siento muy orgullosa de estar ahora en el teatro y sentir que soy una líder porque puedo ayudar con mi historia y con la obra de teatro, las obras que tenemos, ayudar a mucha gente que se identifica con nosotros.
My mom helped my neighbor because when she was pregnant, her husband used to hit her.
Sí, el poder ayudarla vino de Somos Mayfair porque me dijeron que era nuestro deber.
With Graciela, many people in the community began looking to her as a model and asking for her advice.
Day by day, year after year, we see evidence that in fact we are building that community of our dreams, where families become closer, where parents become closer. We see it every day when people come in with all kinds of crises, and a year or two later, they're still engaged with us, but no longer as clients addressing their crises, but in fact as maybe community educators in our obesity and diabetes project. Or maybe they're now participants in the creators and performers of popular theater, or people are now making phone calls or knocking on doors to encourage people to vote.
I was able to learn that I have a voice and that I can stand up for myself. So I think that's going to open a lot of doors for my son to grow up and be a good man. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of learning to make a change.
Mientras cada uno ponga su granito de arena, todo se puede cambiar.
And at the end of the day, it's all about power. When I say power, I'm talking about the power of individuals when we know our own personal strengths and gifts, and we live our lives coming from that place. And the power of families when they really trust that home is safe. And home is where we first learn how to live or work together towards some shared dreams. And the power of community to really effectively be able to fight against injustice at the same time that we build the things in community that sustain us. I'm talking about a different kind of power, not power over someone, but power with others. I'm talking about a power that's really grounded in love, but it has to derive from love.
Quiero que sepas que no estoy dispuesto a enterrar mi vida en un rincón.